It's our reality, just your average family, trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? We got Thurman's Season 2, Episode 12, Meet the Evilmans. This episode starts off at Splatburger, where Phoebe is about to eat some fries when Max steals her fry, saying fry objection, and then Phoebe's like, kick the jerk, and kicks him. Max asks JJ why isn't the ketchup button working. JJ says the ketchup is offline. Table 8 has Splat-tastrophe. Then we see Table 8 and it's just a family with ketchup all over them. Okay. Phoebe tells Max Max can't use his power to get the ketchup? People will see him. Phoebe says she'll get it. And Max says, Phoebe's a scary cat. And a chicken. She's a chicken cat. Pluck, pluck, meow. Again, I love Max. Don't I say every episode just how much I love Jack Griffo? I just do. Anyway. Phoebe says she isn't scared. She eats food out of a mystery tubes. Max says, then use her powers, chicken cat. Block, block, meow. Again, I love Max. I love Jack Griffo. Phoebe uses her powers and says, who's the chicken cat now? And Max says, why don't you ask that to the guy behind you who just saw you use your powers? Phoebe freaks out at this because she's not supposed to be using her powers in public in front of regular people. Phoebe asks what she should do, and Max says fix it. Phoebe says she'll just live under a Splatburger table forever. Max tells her to go over there and make the guy unsee it. Make him unsee it. And Phoebe says how he saw her superpower, and now he'll see her girly powers. Phoebe goes over there and says, did he see her? Goes over to the guy and says, did you see her magic trick? She's a million of them. The guy shows he has superpowers too, as he can stretch his arms and limbs. So basically, he's the Thunderman's equivalent of Luffy from One Piece. Except for he was born with these powers, he didn't eat them from a devil fruit. So, yeah. It's kind of funny to see, yeah. He says his name is Link, and he's played by Brett Cannigan, who we all know as Young Kreese from Cobra Kai, and as Jeanette's brother in Cruel Summer Season 1. I know him as Jeanette's brother in Cruel Summer Season 1, but I also know him in Cobra Kai. Yeah. So, Link is basically just the equivalent of Luffy from One Piece, which is kind of funny that they both of their names start with the letter L. So maybe Link is a descendant of Luffy. I'm just kidding, but maybe he's the Thunderman's answer to Luffy. But yeah, Phoebe showed. Yeah, he says his name is Link. Yeah, and then he's superpowers like her. Max comes over and says, good work, Phoebe. After the opening, in the A-plot, because we're backed up in the A-plot, in Max's lair, Max is hacking into the superhero database. Don't know who Link really is. Phoebe can't believe that there's someone else in Himville with powers in Himville with such a cute smile. Then Max reveals, you're never going to believe who his dad is. Evil Man. Hank's greatest rival and nemesis. Colossus says he thought Hank's greatest archenemy was Skinny Jean. And Phoebe says Link's dad is Evil Man? That's awful. Hank hates Evil Man. Colossus says that's because he was the supervillain Hank could never beat. Every time it ended in a fight and a city being destroyed. Those were the days. Max says Hank's just jealous because Evil Man has an awesome laugh. Max plays the laugh, and Hank literally comes down the slide as soon as he hears it, saying, "Where's Evil Man?" He heard a stupid laugh. Max says, "That wasn't Evil Man. That was him trying to find his signature laugh. Signature supervillain laugh." Max doesn't, and Hank said, "That was good, but not the other one. That was Evil Man. Anything to do with Evil Man is forbidden from the house." So Phoebe's like, yeah, she better cancel. And Max is like, "No, go on your date with Link." And she's like, "Why?" And she's like, "Why?" Yeah. Actually, they both say that. Yeah, Hank goes upstairs, and Phoebe says she's never seen him move that fast. And Max says, "Or get that in Matt." And Max says, when she's going on a date with Link, Phoebe says, is Max crazy? Is Max crazy? She's canceling. Max says he has to go out with Link. Then Max and Evil Man can become evil besties, and he can give Max his ice base. Yep, that's the whole plot of Max's thing of the episode, is that he'll try and fail to get the ice base from Evil Man. That's kind of Max's thing to the story. It kind of doesn't have any plot. Like, the thing of the episode is more between Phoebe and Link rather than Max. Max's whole thing is that, like, he tries and fails to impress Evil Man by going up to him. I don't know why this is a thing. I don't know why this is a plot for Max. Yeah, they'll become evil besties, and Max can inherit his ice base. 30 acres of frozen evil. It's the ultimate supervillain lair. Constantly asks, "What's wrong with their lair?" And Max says, it smells like a pet store. And Cosmo tries to blame it on Phoebe by saying Phoebe got burned. Phoebe says she's finished canceling her date with Link. As Phoebe leaves, Max uses his telekinesis to take Phoebe's phone without Phoebe knowing, and says he's not losing his ice base as he texts Link as Phoebe, which is kind of a good reference to when he did it in season 1, when he did the premiere of season 1, when he was pretending to be Cherry, when he was pretending to text as Phoebe Cherry. He does this again with Link, where he pretends to be Phoebe and says all the things he knows that Phoebe would have said, which is a good reference to how when Phoebe said that's exactly what she would have written when Max was texting Cherry. It's a good reference. I kind of like they brought that back. That Max is just good at texting like girls. And then Max says how dumb girls sound so dumb, and now what is he going to wear to meet Evil Man? In the B plot, Billy's fastly jumping rope, and Billy says 280,000 jump. Can you beat that? So Nora does, is that she lasers the jump rope. I am so glad that they changed Nora's character in season 3 and 4 from being an angry person who just lasers things to actually being a nice and kind person, because this is kind of getting very old. This is getting very old, the whole, oh, Billy says something, and then this is kind of getting very old. The whole, oh, Billy says something to intimidate Nora, to thinking Nora will be intimidated, so she just lasers whatever he's holding. Like, it kind of gets old. I'm glad they changed her character next season, because this whole angry Nora, this whole angry and lasers, the whole Nora that lasers when she's getting angry, she played for the first 2 seasons, kind of got old. So I'm glad they changed her up next season. Also can't wait for next season, but anyway, back to the plot. Nora lasers it and says, "I guess we'll never know." Then Thunder Monitor, which I don't think hasn't been around in a while, alerts that a package has been delivered. Billy takes the package, and Nora says it's a toy delivery. They open the package to see it's a remote control helicopter. Billy tells Nora that it's for someone named Pete Fisher, and they can't open it. They can't open it. They have to tell Barb. And Nora says what they could do is that when they could just play with it first, then put it back, and no one will know that they ever touched it. And Billy says, "It's not stealing." And she's like, "Do you want to become?" Now she calls him Pete Fisher for the rest of the day. Billy says, "Yeah, that doesn't sound right." She says, "Would you like to be called Peter? Would you prefer Peter?" Billy says he does, and then they leave. The Thunder Monitor alerts him to that silent evil man approaching, and Max tells the Thunder Monitor to be cool, and Max says Link has the key to his ice base. Then Max yells to Phoebe that the Overachievers of America are at the door for her, and Phoebe says the Overachievers of America, they're a week early. Then she says, "Of course they are." Then she opens the door to see Link, says, "Link, Link, Link," and then shuts the door right into his face, which is kind of funny. Then she asks, "What is he doing? How does she look? Why did Max do this?" And Max says, for the first quote, she says, "Why is he here?" Max says, "Ice base." Phoebe says, "How does she look?" Max says, "Doesn't care." And then when she said Max, and then when she said, "Why would Max do this?" Max says, "Ice base." Which is, Phoebe says, "Max, you can't let Evil Man's son." And Phoebe says, "Hey, Lincoln, sorry about the door. The doors were, sorry about that. Doors are weird." Hey, Matt, yeah, Link basically says he brought a gift for Phoebe. The ketchup that brought them together. I guess you can bring any other weird first date item, but this is it. This is the weirdest first date item. I guess you can bring anything, how you met each other, but to bring a ketchup bottle, Next is Phoebe. Are you trying to say please come in? Phoebe says Phoebe says yeah, and Link comes in. Link says he has superpowers because his dad is Evil Man. They tried to play it off by saying, "What? Like, we didn't know that." And then he says he's not a bad guy. He says it's haunted him all his life, but he's nothing like his dad. Phoebe says she believes him, but her parents will never let her go out with him because they know his dad was Evil Man and they should go. Link puts the ketchup on the penguin statue, changing the portrait to the family portrait, the normal portrait, to the superhero portrait, and Link sees that, obviously now knowing that Phoebe's dad is Thunderman, and he says that Hank's dad hates Hank's dad, like, hates, like, even more than being woken up from naps. Phoebe says their parents will never let them find out about her and Link. And Max says, Phoebe says their parents would never have to find out about her and Link. And then Max says, and maybe an ice base. Because it's like Max. Then Barb walks in. Barb tells Phoebe about Link. Phoebe says they're hanging out. Barb says that must be Link on the driveway. Barb yells to Hank about Phoebe going out with a boy with a car. Hank runs downstairs. Max says Phoebe was wrong before. That's the fastest Hank's ever ran. Link introduces himself to Hank. Phoebe says Link's last name is Link, tied to the fact that his real last name is Evil Man. And Hank says, Link, so you're named after a panda. He wants to drive Phoebe around. Link says, yeah, so decided to check out his car after he puts on some pants. After Hank puts on some pants. Then they're checking out Link's car, and Hank says, does it have a rearview mirror? Because, you know, when someone's following you, they're always watching your every move. Link says he has a rearview mirror, and a side rear mirror, and even a little mirror of the side rear mirror. Is that enough mirrors? Please like him. Phoebe says, okay, Hank. She says Link has passed all the tests. Link says nothing to worry about. His dad installed it. There's nothing to worry about with him and Phoebe. His dad installed an emergency GPS that tells his dad Link exact location of the exact location of the car if it breaks down. Hank says Link's so then of course, Max presses the GPS button because of course he does. He says, "See you soon, evil man." Hank hears this and asks Max what he said, and he says, let's see if Max passes the vision test, man. Which is like, Max, stop, bro. You're not helping. Hank says, good point. He hates seeing Link get blindsided. And Phoebe says, they're doing great. Link says, Link's doing great. Meanwhile, in the B plot, in Max's lair, Billy and Nora are testing out the airplane, but they crash it. Barb comes down to see it if they saw a package from Mr. Fisher down the street. Says it was delivered by mistake. Nora says they haven't. They haven't seen it. Barb says Max swears he didn't take it, but she had double check. You can't trust Max, but Barb can't trust Billy and Nora. And she leaves. Because Clauser congratulates them on congrats them on their first crime. Nora says all they have to do is fix the helicopter, put it back in the box, and say they found it. They'll be heroes. Claus congratulates them on their first cover-up. Meanwhile, in the A-plot, Hank is scanning Link, which sounds more weirder than I thought it would sound. And Hank says he's okay to go out with Phoebe. He was raised right. Max is practicing what he's gonna say to the evil man, and then they hear a ring on the doorbell. Max says he'll get it. Max opens the door for evil man. Max says to evil man, "Hi, I want to fan your father." And then Max says, "Oh, amateur," and leaves. Link asks about, actually he doesn't leave, but he asks about what his dad's doing there. Asks what his dad doing there. Evil man says the car emergency went off and he came here as fast as he could. Phoebe says she wondered who pushed it. And Barb calls him Mr. Link, but he calls himself Mike Evelman. Hank says he knows him from somewhere. He's the mattress store. He's the mattress guy from those commercials. And he's also Bob Duncan from Good Luck Charlie. Yes, Bob Duncan from Good Luck Charlie plays Link's dad. That's Bob Duncan, everyone. Breathe it in, Bob. You were my childhood character. Bob Duncan from Good Luck Charlie. Yeah, anyway, it was way different than he did on that show, because that was years, but anyway, so yeah. Hank lets him sit down, and Barb says it's a pleasure to be talking to Link. He's a good kid. And then Mike says, because his name is Mike Evelman, Mike says that Link might be too good. Hank says he has the opposite problem with Max, and says, "Can you take him?" So then they laugh, and then Mike's laughs. It's Evil Man's laugh. So Hank figures it out. They turn on each other. They reveal their disliking of each other's shirts, and they bend stuff. Basically, Barb reveals that basically she says she will not let them just destroy another one of her homes or her city, which that means that they basically I know they have a long-standing rivalry, so yeah. And then Evil Man says, then Mike says, "Save your sparks, Electrics. Me and Link were just leaving." And then she said, And then Hank says, leaving, I was gonna kick you out. Evil man's son, Phoebe, you're never going to see that boy again. Yeah, so basically this episode is basically just a Romeo and Juliet parody. Well, because it is. It's basically just, oh yeah, there's these two people that fall in love, just like Romeo and Juliet. The family can't get along, just like Romeo and Juliet. And unlike Romeo and Juliet, Phoebe and Link don't die. They don't kill themselves, but, which I still is massive dark Shakespeare. But, it's still, unlike in that movie where they, unlike in that book, Romeo and Juliet kill themselves because Romeo thought that Juliet was dead, but then Juliet wakes up to see Romeo's dead, so then she kills herself. It's very dark. I know we've heard the story 1,000 times, but to see a Thunderman episode where they kind of do that same story except for Phoebe and Link, instead of bringing the families to get apart, okay, I'll get to that soon, but it's just kind of dark. But at least in this version, they don't die. Because we wouldn't have 4 seasons of the show if that would. So yeah, and Max says, so yeah, Phoebe says, her super cutie, and Max says, his ice base. Then in Max's later, Max says he should have waited until he had his ice base before he ordered ice furniture. Phoebe says she knows Max is pretty bummed, so she brought him a sandwich. Max, then she slaps it out of his hand, calling him an idiot. Evil man was in their house, and Max says he knows, and Phoebe says the only thing kids said hi was, I want to fan your father. Phoebe says not that. Now Hank's freaking out because his worst enemy knows where they live, and Hank's calling the Hero League to find out what they should do. Hank says he knows what they should. Hank says Max says I know what they should do. They shouldn't waste perfectly good sandwiches. Max says he's still gonna eat it when she leaves. Phoebe says Max is gonna have to cover her when she sees Link one last time. Max says, how does he know that she still wants to see Link? Link wants to see her again. Then we see Link's stretched out arm, giving Phoebe flowers, and Max says he'll do it for love. Phoebe says, really? And Max says, the love of that ice base. Phoebe says she'll take it, and Phoebe leaves. Colosso asks Max if he's really going to help her, and Max says, of course not. He's still going to tell them, and then he and Evil Man will be able to bond, because it's Max. Again, I don't get, he and of course not. He says, of course not. Hank will need Evil Man to track down Link's car, and then Max can finally meet him. Klaus says, didn't you already meet Evil Man? And Max says, that didn't count! Meanwhile, in the B-plot, because this B-plot is kind of not that interesting, but okay. In the B-plot, Billy tells Nora to melt the spinny thing to the pointy thing, and they can stay out of jail. Nora lasers the spinny thing, and they try to fly it, but it only gets half off the ground before it explodes. Billy says he doesn't think he wants to be Pete Fisher anymore. Meanwhile, in A-plot, Super President Kickbutt makes her second appearance on this show since Haunted Thundermans, and says her intel indicates that Evil Man has been retired for over 10 years and poses no threat. Has he done anything wrong? And Hank says his son Link asked out his daughter Phoebe. And then Super President Kickbutt says this is the Hero League emergency number Thunderman, not the desperate dad helpline. Then she ends the call. Actually, Hank tries to say, is there one of those? But she says, yeah, there is. There's one right, she'll give it to him, but it's also she can end the call, which is kind of funny. Max tells Hank that Phoebe snuck out to meet Link. Hank flies to Evil Man's mattress store and flies to Mike's mattress store and bursts through the door with Mike, Evil Man, and Max says, hi, I'm Carl Cadigan. And then he says, where did that even come from? Again, this joke is kind of not that funny, but I just love it that Jack Griffin was amazing at this. It's just because of Jack. It's just because of Jack. We all know it. Yeah. Even Mike and Hanks decide to track down Phoebe and Link. They discover they're at Splatburger and they fly separately after them, and Max decides to catch a bus. Then Billy and Nora just walk in after Max leaves, which is like, this episode is so conjointed. The B plot and the A plot are so weirded out. Like sometimes they're in the B plot, A plot. And now Billy and Nora walk in for the B plot after the A plot storyline just left. So Barb shows up, and so that cop shows up, and then Billy and Nora shows up, then Barb shows up, so Nora tells them how they lied, stole Pete Fisher's airplane, broke it, then they tried to fix it, then it exploded, then they buried it. Nora says, don't let the cop take them to kid jail. Barb can't believe Billy and Nora lied to her, and the cop says he's sorry that she's not eating a hot dog because he's from the restaurant Cop Dog. Terrible name. But anyway, he's here to protect and serve, and gives Barb a coupon. Serve Barb this coupon and says, have a hot doggy day, and he leaves to never be seen again. Why was he even in this? Like, why was he even there? I guess it was to show, like, oh, Billy and Nora could be possible getting arrested. But then he just says, oh, he's from a restaurant, and then he just leaves. What was the point of him? Again, I guess he was just there to be like, oh, hey, Billy and Nora could be possibly being arrested because he said, there you two are. But what was the point of him? He had no purpose to the episode. He could have been admitted, and Barb and Billy and Nora could have still told Barb the truth anyway. And Nora tries to say she wonders who made the mess on the floor, but Barb ain't having it. Meanwhile, in the Splatburger, Phoebe and Link are having a thumb wrestle and talking about stuff. When Phoebe asks Link, Phoebe's like, it's so good to be out with an actual superhero and not having to pretend to be normal. And Link says, isn't Phoebe worried that they'll get caught together? Phoebe says no, because there's one thing Max is good at, it's lying to Hank and Barb. Phoebe, what is going on? You know that Max... I don't get it. Why'd she say that? She knows that Max only lies to their parents to get what he wants. Like I guess he's good at it. But of course, Phoebe and Hank and Mike Evilman walk in, and Phoebe's like, apparently he's good at lying to her. So yeah, they say, of course, oh, Phoebe, you're in big trouble, and Link, you're not supposed to be with her. We made it especially clear that you two are not supposed to be together. And then Link's like, oh yeah, dude, what's up? Like why is it's your issues? Why do we have to stop hanging out because of it? And yeah. And Mike says that Phoebe is manipulating Link. Hank says he's glad there's not people around. Mike said, when he ever care about people? And then Mike and Hank yank out the tubes from Splatburger and start shooting food at each other. Then Phoebe is like, stop acting like kids. Like, stop behaving like kids. Do they realize how much they have in common? They both hung up their capes. They both moved to the suburbs. They both sleep all day. And they both sleep all day. And they're basically the same person. Hank says fine because he hates wasting food. But Mike's about to hit Hank with some food when Phoebe used her telekinesis to make the food hit Max instead. And then Mike's like, oh, the weird kid got hit. And then Max just gets happy that they know that Evilman knows his name. Phoebe says sorry she lied, but Link and her like each other, and Hank was trying to keep them apart because of their past. Hank says they're right. They should be apologizing to Link and Phoebe aren't Hank and Mike. And Mike says, yeah, they're not them. They're not even them anymore. They can't even destroy Splatburger because Hank's old and sleepy. Hank said, since Mike's old and sleepy, can Max have his ice base? But guess what? The whole ice base plot was kind of pointless because guess what? Evil Man reveals he sold it years ago to pay for his mattress store. Max is like mattress stores aren't evil, and then Hank's like, is it? Try lying on his. It's like a boulder with sheets on it. And then Mike says if Hank needs a new mattress, he can come to his mattress store. Mike says he'll put on a comfy. And then they start singing the comfy mattress in town. Phoebe says, did they just end a long life feud? And JJ says it will only cost her $372. Link says, don't worry, he got this. And uses his stretchy arm to grab Mike's wallet, his dad's wallet. Says he's a little evil. Then Phoebe says, let's split it. And she reveals that she has Max's wallet. Then they clink wallets to end the episode. So, yeah. And this episode introduces long-standing character linked to the series. Yeah. He's actually one of Phoebe's boyfriends. It actually stays a prominent character. Not like Cole Campbell or Dylan. He's an actual Phoebe guy that she likes that becomes a prominent character and appears in a bunch of episodes this season, which I'm glad to see. But I'm just saying that unlike characters like Cole Campbell or Dylan, Link is actually a good character and he's played by a good actor. Brett Canahan really brought his A game to this show, and even though Link is only in 2 seasons, season 2 and 3. He's really good. He's actually a good character, and I'm excited to see more of him. And also, he's actually a nice guy to Phoebe, unlike Cole Campbell or Dylan, who basically were just disappeared from the show. Link got 2 seasons to himself, which is good because he's kind of actual likable character. And I know his actor was in shows like Cobra Kai, where he played young John Kreese in the flashbacks, and he was also in Cruel Summer, where he played Jeanette's brother. And I think he was also in another thing, but I haven't seen it. But anyway, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for more Thunderman's content.